Welcome to the deep dive. Auditing.
Mm,
It's been fundamental for, well, over a century, hasn't it? Building trust.
absolutely. Cornerstone.
But let's be honest, it often feels like a very human, very manual process.
It really does. And with data just exploding everywhere now.
Right. Are we actually seeing everything? It makes you wonder. And look, if you're listening, you probably want to get up to speed on this stuff without, drowning in jargon.
Yeah, who has the time?
Exactly. So this deep dive, we're cutting through that noise. We're looking at how AI, NLP, ML, all these acronyms might just completely reshape auditing.
That's the plan. Think of this as your fast track. We're using the AI Auditor How Can AI Drive Audits paper as our guide, really digging into how AI could make auditing, well, not just quicker, but smarter, more insightful.
And maybe less prone to those human errors we mentioned.
Precisely. Less susceptible to the inherent biases and limitations we all have.
Okay, so auditing, it's evolved, yeah, from basic checks to this huge global thing dealing with regulations, risk.
Oh, massively. Across pretty much every industry.
But even with all that development, it sounds like there's still some, persistent problems. What are the big hurdles making people look towards AI?
Well, the source lays out some really key issues. Things like improper audit planning. Are you even looking in the right places from the start?
Right. Focus.
Then there's keeping up with risks that are changing all the time. Business doesn't stand still.
No kidding.
Plus, auditor bias. Even unconsciously, it creeps in.
Hmm.
Misalignment sometimes between the auditors and the auditees, the people they're actually auditing, that can hinder things.
Yeah, Christian.
And maybe the biggest one today, skewed data samples. Are auditors really looking at enough data or just a tiny slice? Are they missing the big picture hidden in the volume?
Wow. Okay, so it's a picture of a really vital process that's maybe like struggling to scale with modern business.
That's a good way to put it. It's struggling with the scale and the complexity.
So it's not just about speed, it's about depth. Getting more accurate picture. It sounds like we need audits that do more than just look back.
Exactly. The shift needs to be towards identifying patterns, trends, proactively, using all that data to support risk assessment, catch issues earlier.
Becoming more predictive, less reactive.
Precisely. And that's really where AI starts to look very promising.
Okay, let's talk AI then. For those of us maybe not living and breathing this stuff, what do we actually mean by AI in this context? What are the key bits?
Sure. So the source describes AI as like an umbrella term. It covers technologies trying to mimic human thinking. The main players for auditing are machine learning, or ML,
Okay.
which is basically about systems learning from data, spotting patterns without explicit programming. Then there's natural language processing, NLP.
Right, understanding language.
Yeah, letting computers understand and process human language reports, emails, you name it. And robotic process automation, RPA.
RPA, correct.
Which is more about using software bots to handle those repetitive rule-based tasks like data entry and moving files around. Figure 1 in the source actually shows how these fit together nicely.
Can you give a quick example? Like ML in action.
Okay. Imagine teaching a computer to spot weird financial transactions. You don't give it rules, you just show it tons of normal ones and some dodgy ones. It learns to tell the difference. That's ML.
Got it. And NLP.
NLP could, say, read through thousands of contracts or meeting notes to flag potential compliance risks based on the language used.
Okay. Freeing up humans.
And RPA. That bot could automatically pull data from 5 different systems every morning, saving an auditor hours of manual clicking.
Okay, clear. That toolkit sounds powerful. And the source suggests it could lead to some pretty big improvements. What are the headlines?
Yeah, several big ones. AI, particularly NLP, can seriously upgrade how we analyze process documents, and understanding how things should work.
Which is fundamental.
Absolutely. ML lets auditors look at vastly bigger data sets, not just sampling 5%, maybe sampling 50%, or even 100% in some cases.
Wow. More confidence then.
Much more statistical significance. And NLP can connect the dots between, say, structured data like numbers in a spreadsheet and unstructured stuff like emails.
Ooh, like finding complaints in emails that match weird numbers somewhere else.
Exactly. A link a human might totally miss buried in the noise. And the big number the source throws out. Potential for over 50% reduction in audit time.
50%. Okay, that is a game changer. So how does this apply across the audit life cycle?
Yeah.
The source breaks it down, right? Starting with setup.
It does, yeah. Figure 2 is helpful here. In the setup phase, AI can automate a lot. ML can help pick which areas or entities are highest risk to audit in the first place.
Smarter targeting.
Predictive analytics can flag emerging risks, maybe not obvious yet. RPA can automate continuous controls monitoring, like checking if certain approvals are always happening.
So real-time assurance.
Kind of, yeah.
Uh,
And NLP can even auto-generate draft checklists based on past audits and current rules.
So starting off way more informed and automated. Okay, what about the next bit? The audit plan.
Right, planning. Here, AI digs deeper. NLP can chew through policies, SOPs, quickly giving auditors the lay of the land.
Saves reading hundreds of pages.
Totally. AI might even pre-populate potential findings based on that initial doc analysis. Keyword analysis flags specific concerns. And these rule engines,
Rule engines.
think of them like smart if-then logic. If a transaction is over X amount, ND happens after hours, then flag it. AI uses these rules to find potential issues automatically. Again, it's NLP, predictive analytics, RPA driving this.
It's like having a super fast, super smart research assistant setting things up. Okay, now the main event. The field work. The actual auditing. How does AI change that?
This is where it gets really hands-on. Automating core tasks like pulling data, doing initial checks. ML can do sophisticated data modeling, testing much bigger samples automatically.
Taking on the heavy lifting.
Definitely. Rule engines aggregate and interpret data. And AI, especially using NLP and advanced analytics, is really good at spotting subtle fraud patterns humans might miss.
Interesting.
Natural language generation, NLG, can even start drafting the initial findings based on what the AI discovers in the data.
So it's not just number crunching, it's helping interpret and even write up parts of it. Okay, finally, reporting. Getting the results out. How does AI feature there?
Reporting gets a boost too. Automating the drafting of standard text reports frees up auditors for the commentary, the recommendations.
The value add stuff.
Exactly. AI-enhanced data visualization can make complex findings much clearer for stakeholders. Charts, dashboards that really tell the story. And the source calls it intelligent reporting, using AI to quantify the impact of the findings, giving a clearer dollar figure or operational metric.
So a much clearer picture of what the issues actually mean for the business.
Right. Again, NLP and NLG are key for creating these automated yet insightful reports.
It's pretty amazing how it touches every single stage. Not just faster, but potentially deeper, more thorough.
Okay, let's zoom in a bit on these specific AL techniques. Figure 3 in the source had more detail.
It did. So things like document classification. Using ML to automatically sort documents, SOPs, old reports, helps auditors quickly grasp what's what.
Makes sense. Text summarization, using NLP to boil down long documents. Super useful for generating quick observations or checklist items. Imagine summarizing a 200-page policy doc instantly.
Yeah, that alone would save days. What else?
Topic analysis. This helps find the main themes in documents or data. Great for analytics, building those keyword rule engines we talked about.
Okay.
Search and retrieval. AI-powered search lets auditors find relevant info super fast across huge data sets, connecting to past audits or best practices.
Like Google for audit data.
Kind of, yeah, but smarter and more context-aware. Statistical analysis AI enhances this core audit technique for more complex data interpretation and sentiment analysis.
Sentiment, like how people feel.
Exactly. Using NLP to gauge the tone in reports or communications. Are people raising concerns? Is there negativity around a certain process? It adds nuance.
It really is like a whole new toolkit for auditors. But,
Yeah.
and there's always a but. This all depends on the data, right? Garbage in, garbage out.
Absolutely, 100%. The source really hammers this point home. Success hinges on sorting out the data fundamentals. You have to be able to answer yes to some key questions.
Like what?
Do we know where this data came from? Is it easy to get to? Can we trust it? Data integrity? Is there one single version of the truth or multiple conflicting spreadsheets?
Yeah, those sound familiar. And often the answer is no, or maybe.
Right. Without good, accessible, trustworthy data, the best AI in the world is going to struggle.
It's interesting. The source notes how audit teams used to focus heavily on GRC tech governance, risk, compliance platforms.
Yeah.
How does AI relate to those?
That's a great point. GRC platforms have been valuable for workflow, some automation, managing the audit process, but the source argues many of them lack the deep analytical power to really generate intelligent insights from the data itself or fix those core data quality issues.
So AI adds another layer.
Exactly. AI components bring that advanced analytical engine, tackling the data and sampling problems that GRC systems often couldn't solve alone. It's more about augmenting GRC, not necessarily replacing it.
Got it. So AI helps unlock insights. leading to better audits.
Yeah.
But how do we, measure if an audit is actually better or more effective now? What metrics matter?
Good question. The source mentions a few key parameters: the overall environment the audit function works in, the output, the actual reports, findings, the quality of that output, accuracy, reliability, the efficiency, how many resources did it take, and crucially, the impact. Did the audit actually help the organization improve or manage risk better?
Okay, environment, output, quality, efficiency, impact. And the tricky part, I guess, is using AI to boost output, quality, efficiency.
Without somehow hurting the overall impact, right? You don't want it to become just a fast, automated checkboxing exercise that misses the point.
So how does AI help strike that balance?
It comes back to using the right tools strategically. Predictive analytics helps focus effort where impact will be greatest. RPA boosts efficiency on routine tasks, freeing up humans for judgment calls. NLP extracts deeper insights, improving output quality and potential impact. It's about smart application.
Okay, the potential seems huge. Deeper insights, faster work, fewer errors.
Yeah.
But what about the downsides? The source mentioned risks too, didn't it?
It did, and it's really important to be aware of them. One big one is bias in the AI tools themselves.
How so?
Well, humans design and train these tools. If the training data is biased or the algorithm logic reflects human biases, the AI's results can be skewed or unfair.
That's worrying.
It requires vigilance. Also, questionable results if the AI isn't thoroughly tested and validated. You can't just plug it in and trust it blindly for critical decisions. And, simple errors in the human logic used to build the algorithms can mess things up too.
Right. So careful implementation, testing, validation are key.
Yeah.
Not just assuming the tech is magic.
Exactly. Critical thinking is still essential.
Now, the source mentioned AML being used elsewhere, like in anti-money laundering.
Yeah, big time. Things like complex fraud detection, checking data quality automatically, screening news feeds in real time, saving banks huge amounts and catching more illicit activity.
Any other examples?
But there was one about an IT firm using NLP and voice commands to automate filling out order forms for a retailer, cut errors way down, and law firms using AI to search and analyze massive document sets for case research, finding that needle in a haystack.
So the core strengths, handling big data, finding patterns, automating tasks, they translate really well across different fields.
Absolutely. It makes the application and auditing feel like a very natural next step. The problems are similar in many ways.
So wrapping this up, what's the final verdict, the path forward for AI in auditing?
Well, the source is pretty clear. The potential of AI, ML, NLP is immense. It could revolutionize auditing. But a big challenge is overcoming skepticism, maybe a perception that it's too complex among the experienced auditors themselves.
Getting buy-in from the subject matter experts.
Exactly. Success really depends on collaboration. The IT folks who get the AI need to work hand in glove with the audit pros who know the practice.
Bridging that gap.
The ultimate vision is this blend of RPA, AI, ML working together, leading to audits that are way more efficient, yes, but also much more insightful and truly measurable in their value.
Okay, so bringing it all together, AI isn't just hype. It looks like a genuine opportunity to evolve auditing, moving it from something often manual, potentially biased, towards being really data-driven, efficient, and packed with insights.
That sums it up well.
And hopefully, for you listening, this deep dive gave you that clear overview of those moments without the usual information overload.
We hope so. And it leaves us with a really interesting thought, doesn't it? As these AI tools get more integrated, how does the human auditor's role change?
Yeah. What new skills become absolutely essential when the AI is doing a lot of the heavy lifting on data analysis?
It's a fascinating question, something for you to mull over, not just for auditing, but for, well, pretty much any field AI touches.